The story begins with a serene lake shimmering under the summer sun. A narrator reflects on the boundless recklessness of youth, accompanied by gentle music that sets the mood for what's to come. Bare feet touch the cool grass, the scene full of promise and energy. Nick bloodied Jonas, his best friend Carson, excitedly greets him, bubbling with plans to make this week unforgettable. Carson's sole mission? To have as much fun and as many flings as possible. In the town, Sheriff Big Jack makes his presence known. Known for his restless nature, he interrupts his old friends, who are just relaxing, to take the stage and make everything about himself. Meanwhile, Doc arrives at his family's vacation house, the place where it all begins. Looking out the window, he notices the arrival of a new neighbor, a couple unpacking their car. His attention quickly fixes on the wife, an effortlessly stunning woman whose allure instantly captivates him. Later, as Doc tinkers with his bike outside, the woman catches his eye again. This time, she's struggling in her high heels on the uneven ground. Their eyes meet, and she flashes him a coy smile. Before Doc can process the moment, his father calls him inside. He's introduced to Elliot, the husband of the stunning neighbor. Elliot is a wealthy businessman who exudes confidence. He asks Doc for help with his boat, mentioning that Doc's parents said he knows his way around boats. Eager to impress, Doc agrees. While inspecting Elliot's boat, Doc is distracted by movement inside the neighboring house. Through the open window, he sees Lena, Elliot's wife, taking a shower. The sight overwhelms him. He's caught between admiration and guilt when Elliot suddenly appears. In a panic, Doc wonders if Elliot saw his wandering eyes. Elliot, however, casually asks if Doc has checked her out, leaving Doc stunned. Moments later, Elliot clarifies that he was talking about the boat, easing Doc's panic, but leaving him flustered. Elliot hires Doc to work on the boat, explaining that his business keeps him away most of the time. That night, Doc lies awake in his bed, restless and conflicted. He peers out the window, observing Lena and Elliot through their brightly lit home. Tension simmers between them, visible even from a distance. The dynamics in the household are far from harmonious, a fact that intrigues Doc further. The following day, Elliot boasts about his wealth during a casual conversation with Doc, painting himself as a man who has it all. Afterward, Doc throws himself into working on the boat. As he toils away, a piercing scream cuts through the air. Doc rushes to investigate and finds Lena in distress over a spider. Acting quickly, he eliminates the tiny intruder, earning a laugh and some playful banter from her. Their connection grows stronger with each interaction, a dangerous spark simmering beneath the surface. That evening, Lena approaches Doc in the pouring rain. She asks for his help breaking into her house, explaining that she's misplaced her key. Doc sees this as a golden opportunity. As he climbs through the window, he cuts his hand on the frame. Lena tends to his wound, the intimate moment bringing them closer than ever. Their chemistry reaches its peak, and Lena gently guides Doc into an experience he's never had before. For Doc, it's a life-changing moment, one that leaves him yearning for more. The next day, life seems to return to normal, or so it appears. Lena continues to play mind games, teasing Doc with her presence and her words. Each interaction leaves him both exhilarated and tormented. The following morning, Lena surprises him on the boat, reigniting their forbidden connection. As the affair intensifies, their encounters become riskier. One day, they nearly get caught by Elliot in the storage house. The close call shakes Doc, but it only adds to the thrill for Lena. Later, Elliot criticizes Doc's work on the boat, his tone harsh and dismissive. He mentions that he'll be out of town for a few days, providing the lovers with a window of opportunity. That night, Doc and Lena meet in her bedroom. As they revel in their stolen moments, Doc notices an incomplete tattoo on Lena's ankle. It's a small detail, but one that fascinates him. Suddenly, a shadowy figure outside the window sees them, adding a layer of danger to their tryst. The next day, Lena and Doc take the boat out for a sail. Midway through their trip, the engine burns out. While Elliot heads below deck to fix it, Lena uses the moment to complain about her husband. Her words are laced with seduction, though Doc struggles to discern if she's being genuine or manipulative. That night, Lena calls Doc in tears, claiming that Elliot has hurt her again. Doc wants to confront Elliot, but Lena begs him to stay calm, convincing him to bide his time. As the days pass, Lena continues to pull Doc deeper into her world. She shows up at his house uninvited, trembling and asking for his promise never to abandon her. Their emotional exchange is interrupted by Doc's mother, forcing Lena to make a hasty exit. That night, everything changes. Doc goes to Lena's house and finds Elliot's lifeless body on the floor. Lena insists it was self-defense, but her panicked demeanor leaves Doc unsure. She begs him to help her, fearing that no one will believe her story. Against his better judgment, Doc agrees. Desperate to protect her, he concocts a plan to make Elliot's death look accidental. He disguises the body, takes it to the boat, and stages a scene to mislead the authorities. The next morning, the police discover Elliot's body. Doc watches anxiously as Sheriff Big Jack questions Lena. The tension in town escalates as rumors swirl about the $10 million Lena stands to inherit. At the bar, Doc overhears patrons gossiping about the case. Just when things couldn't get worse, an investigator arrives in town. Sharp and unyielding, she immediately takes control of the case, clashing with the sheriff. Her goal is clear: uncover the truth and ensure Lena doesn't walk away with a fortune. What began as a carefree summer turns into a tangled web of lies, betrayal, and life-altering decisions. For Doc, the summer vacation he once anticipated with excitement now threatens to unravel his entire world. The tangled story deepens as Lena faces the sharp and relentless Angie Alvarez, the investigator determined to uncover the truth. During questioning, Lena paints Elliot as a perpetually drunk and abusive husband. At first, she seems confident, but Angie's pointed questions probe inconsistencies in her story, leaving Lena flustered. Unable to provide solid answers, Lena abruptly walks out, raising further suspicion. Meanwhile, the sheriff's men gather intelligence, and one deputy begins to suspect Doc's involvement. His movements are quietly observed, and tension rises. Angie, ever meticulous, searches Lena's house and discovers a broken window with traces of blood. The net around Doc tightens as his friend Carson confronts him about acting strange. Carson reveals that Sheriff Big Jack questioned him earlier about Doc and a mystery woman. Frustrated and defensive, Doc denies everything, dismissing any connection to Lena. At home, Doc overhears the sheriff and Angie questioning his parents about him. Soon after, Doc finds himself face-to-face with Angie, answering her sharp questions about his work with Elliot. The conversation grows tense, but his parents step in, declaring that as lawyers, they won't let Angie accuse their son without evidence. The conflict escalates, yet Doc remains under the investigator's watchful eye. At the local pub, Doc overhears a heated discussion about Lena, now the center of town gossip. The narrative has shifted. Rumors of a stalker harassing Lena and murdering Elliot spread like wildfire. Carson, feeling guilty for his earlier confrontation, apologizes to document. Shortly after, Lena contacts Doc, asking to meet. When Doc arrives at her house, he demands an explanation for the fabricated stalker story. Lena, cornered, admits she made it up under pressure from investigators. Doc, panicked, insists on hiding the phones they've been using to communicate, sensing their liability. Lena, however, reassures him with promises of loyalty, binding him to her with words that only deepen his entanglement. The next confrontation is inevitable. Investigators and the sheriff arrive at Doc's home, demanding DNA samples and fingerprints to match the blood found on the broken window. His parents intervene, trying to protect him, but the pressure mounts. Later, Angie takes Doc for a ride, probing him about the night Elliot disappeared. She accuses him of being obsessed with Lena and warns that the DNA results will prove his connection to the crime scene. Her ultimatum is clear: confess everything, or let Lena walk away with $10 million while he faces the consequences. Under immense stress, Doc finally confides in Carson. He spills the entire story, seeking his friend's advice. Carson suggests confessing to the sheriff but advises gathering solid evidence first. Doc mentions having the phone with their messages and the gardener, who once saw them together. Doc heads to the sheriff, ready to confess, but a call from his mother stops him. She warns him to stay silent. Shaken, Doc leaves, unaware that the sheriff discreetly collects his fingerprints from the glass he touched. As the investigation progresses, the DNA results come back positive, further implicating Document. At home, his mother confronts him about a pair of women's underpants she found in his drawer. Cornered, Doc reluctantly admits they belong to Lena, though he claims he didn't put them there. With mounting guilt, Doc begins to confess the entire ordeal to his parents, but they're interrupted by Sheriff Big Jack at the door. Before Doc can make sense of the situation, he receives a chilling message from Carson. The gardener who knew too much is dead. The sheriff heads upstairs to speak with Doc, but by then, Doc has fled. Angie spots him running and gives chase. Desperate, Doc breaks into the boathouse, searching for the phone he hid earlier. To his horror, Lena arrives and reveals she already took the phones. As the police close in, Lena shocks Doc by tearing her dress and screaming, pretending he's attacking her. Doc is handcuffed and pleads with the sheriff, claiming he is proof of his innocence. Surprisingly, the sheriff seems to believe him and secretly gives him 20 minutes to escape. Doc races to Lena's house, scouring her belongings until he finds a phone. Angie arrives shortly after to take Lena in for questioning, and Doc seizes the moment, handing her the phone and explaining it contains everything they need. Angie reviews the phone's contents, and it's clear the tide is turned against Lena. She escorts Lena away, tying up Doc to ensure he doesn't interfere. However, as they leave, Doc notices something unsettling: the tattoo on Angie's ankle. The realization hits him like a thunderbolt. The tattoo matches the one Lena has been hiding. In a flash, the truth becomes clear. Angie and Lena are lovers, and the entire investigation has been a ruse to secure the $10 million payout and cover up the murder. Lena and Angie leave town, abandoning the phone as a cruel token of their manipulation. Doc, left behind to pick up the pieces, is eventually arrested. Though he faces charges, they are reduced thanks to the evidence Lena unwittingly left, not just his innocence, but also the time and dreams he once cherished. He admits the experience shaped him, but wonders if, given the chance to go back, he would make the same choices or choose a simpler, safer life. Did you enjoy the recap? Please like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated next time we drop. Thanks for watching.